Hey, what is up, everybody? Michael Crump back here again, talking about the latest and the greatest in PlayStation homebrew news and much, much more. So the very first thing, Illusion has been working on GoldHen Cheat Manager and recently released these screenshots. And what these were, an ability that you could update the cheats and the patches from a hard disk drive and or a USB drive. Now, right now, for the most part, we've had a lot of updates that's been based off of just using the internet. But what's nice with this is that obviously if you wanted a completely offline scenario in order to update GoldHen Cheat Manager, well, you could do that with this update. Now, since I started recording this, I did notice that this has already been merged. Now, looking down here, when you are updating the cheats from the USB, it is basically the GoldHen cheat repository main.zip. And basically you get this just like you would with any other GitHub repo, meaning that you would just go to the code right here and then just download the zip file, and then you would be able to install it via USB. Now, patches are again from the USB. In this example, this one was just called patch1.zip. So Illusion offers a number of those patches that you can take a look at, or you can put those inside of the data folder already on the hard disk drive where you wouldn't need a USB. Now, if we go back to the main project, let me just double check. Okay, so there isn't a release right now that has that in there, so it should be coming very soon. The next item on the list here was there has been so much talk about the LM32-based AMD SMU exploit, and really a lot of folks have been wondering, does this impact the PlayStation 4? So if you didn't know, the acronym SMU is basically the AMD System Management Unit. And so it has tasks such as voltage level control, power supply monitors, and then a couple of other things. And so what we've seen is that with this LM32 exploit, older AMD SMU coprocessors, including the one that's on the PlayStation 4, they're based on that LM32 architecture. And so what the author has done here is they've developed a technique to extract the HMAC encryption key from the SMU's firmware, allowing one to create their own custom firmware. Now, Walolo.net did mention that this is not the same as the PS4 custom firmware, but that basically what we could be able to get out of this would be an entry point for other hacks. But what you're probably the most interested in is, can we get anything out of this for the PlayStation 4? And really, in their own words, what they said was PS4's APU SMU has some oddities that prevents this attack in its current form. Or I'm just making a stupid mistake somewhere. So really, this is just another kind of lead into something that may develop, and there may be something that comes out of it. But I do feel that in the PlayStation scene, we get a whole lot of these. Now, there is a GitHub repo that really was committed to just a couple of hours ago. And this is, again, I believe this is extremely fresh, but this was a quick and dirty tool to dump the LM32-based AMD SMU bootrom on a patched SMU firmware. So there is some tools that is starting to get out there. Will this affect the PS4? We don't really know. And then I just saw today that SiSTRo, again, is doing all kinds of work. SiSTRo obviously brings us GoldHen, which we all use today, but they also just contributed these two big files that are really going to be for developers. And what these are the PS4 Symbols. So these are some of the names that developers may be looking for in writing their homebrew application. So there wouldn't necessarily be a lot of help that the regular end user may get out of this, but something that's always kind of interesting to look at regardless. There is the PS4 names.txt and then this other CSV file. And again, these are really just going to be very helpful to other developers that's building homebrew applications out there. Next up, there was this extremely handy chart by PlayStation JB, And what this does is this shows every single release that we've had so far and when something came out for it. So from the PS4, the first 2 years, which is the same exact way as the PlayStation 5, there really was nothing that was happening there. Then we saw in 2015, we got 1.76, 2016, 4.01, and kind of so forth to really kind of where we're at here today, which was in 2021 that we got 9.00. Now, there hasn't been anything since that in 2022, and really we are pretty much halfway through 2023, and we still don't have anything else for that. And then for the PS5, obviously in 2022, we started getting some of the BD-JB, as well as the website by Spectre Dev, and recently the website by Slayer Scorvy, which I have a whole video dedicated just to that in case you wanted to check it out. But still a very neat kind of infographic, as you will, of all of the different types of exploits that we've had with the PS4 as well as the PS5. Then another update over here for Orbis patches, and this one says starting today, it's now possible to view compatibility notices, as Sony calls them, on orbispatches.com per game. It says this section features details that are not normally visible. We can see that there is information here such as the number of network players, the number of network players PS Plus, DualShock vibration, if these features are supported or not. So PS5 vibration, PS5 trigger, online play mode required, in-game purchases, which is optional. So I believe this might have been for Grand Theft Auto Online, but you can definitely head over to orbispatches.com and you can check out this new feature, which may or may not be helpful for you. Then I definitely wanted to mention some themes. I've recently been checking out Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and well, if you like Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, well, then you may want to enjoy this theme right here. So definitely the theme has a number of different new icons that's made. We can also see kind of this green kind of tint that is outlined on each of the icons up at the top here. And here's kind of what it looks like once I just kind of play this video. So you can kind of see you got the nice kind of background there, maybe a little bit too much with the green there, but you're definitely going to know that this is going to be a Zelda-related theme. So anyway, definitely check this out if you're into Zelda. Then I wanted to mention, of course, Starkiller, which makes every single episode of the Homebrew News. And here he has all kinds of new ones, so such as Detroit Become Human, PS4 theme, and here is what it looks like once it is applied. So when you navigate up to the top menu here, you definitely see the full logo. There was also another one right here for the Order 1886 PS4 theme. Then there was one right here for Hello Kitty, which may be great if you've got some daughters in the house. And here is the dynamic Super Mario Relax PS4 theme. There is a Mortal Kombat PS4 theme, and then obviously a few more. As always, just follow this channel and you should be able to get all the new themes as they come out. I do have one more theme for you, and this is for the Super Mario Brothers permanent theme for the PlayStation 4. So yeah, it's kind of interesting to see a lot more kind of like Nintendo related game content showing up as themes on the PlayStation 4, but that really just shows that for the most part, we're really all just kind of gamers and we want to experience the best that really any of these platforms has to offer. And then I wanted to mention that if you are using some of these ESP32-S2 hosts, that there is a way that you can get internet on those hosts. Now, I may create a video for this, but it's really kind of all laid out right here. And what it says is that if possible, you must configure the board to connect to the internet. It is done from 10.1.1 admin.html from a smartphone or PC. Select the config editor, and in the Wi-Fi connection, enter the SSID of your home Wi-Fi and the key and save the configuration. It says, then you have to obtain the IP that was assigned to the board. It can be from your router configuration or an Android or iOS app. Basically, you just need the IP of the device itself. And then once you get that, all you need to do is go to your browser and then delete the history and the cache and then enter the IP address of the ESP32, and then that is it. And so definitely give this a shot if you would like to get internet access based off of using these ESP32-S2 devices. And then there was quite a bit of conversation regarding this new security talk that SiSTRo is doing at a hardware security conference. And so really what we felt was that this talk may have some information that would be confidential. Actually, I created a whole video on this, just called right here, with SiSTRo speaking on PS5 hardware at hardware.io, in case you want to check that out. But one thing that SiSTRo has clarified here was that he wasn't going to be dropping new exploits bugs. It's mostly a reversing focused talk and talks about exploitation techniques, mitigations on the whole. So it doesn't at least appear that there's going to be any real new information that comes out of that, even though I stated in that last video, if I were a security expert, this is probably where I would be releasing it for the masses to see because it is a big stage. But it does look like SiSTRo won't be releasing anything at that talk. I just wanted to provide a quick update there. And then if you do have an Android-based phone, then you can install PS4 themes directly off of your phone, and you can browse some of those themes in there too. I definitely thought that this was worth mentioning because I know that some people really digs the theme part of this Homebrew news episode, and so I thought I would just throw that in here. If you are looking for maybe something a bit different to watch, I do have a gaming pickups channel where basically anything that I go out and about and I pick up, I just discuss it on the channel here. So you can see some of my recent finds and really even some silly videos that I tend to come up with from time to time. So definitely check that out if you're into that sort of thing. Well, thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Michael, out.